What's up? How's it going? I want to welcome you to this video where I'm going to be explaining a little bit about our platform in relation to SOC 2, which is what you're interested about and how to get started, how to use this platform, and what are some of the key features from where we built it that we think you're going to like a lot. So let's get into it. So as soon as you get into our platform, the first thing you see is your dashboard. And so your dashboard is going to include all the links, quick automations and buttons to get you to different places. Essentially, it's just a way to link into different pages. Notion is a huge documentation platform. It's so powerful. It has so many features, and that's why for my business, I really like using Notion as it allows me to document a lot of the important things that need to happen. The cool thing too is that there is databases that you can create that essentially create this ecosystem between items, artifacts, pages, and database entries that allow you to track a lot of important stuff. And if this is new to you, SOC 2 is a huge project. And so documenting those stuff is going to be key to being able to show the evidence and show to the auditor um, that you are properly securing your business and that you are going to be properly securing the data of the people that trust you with it. So again, you land into our platform and this is the dashboard. And as soon as you get here, so there's some quick actions, which I just want to kind of give you the structure of it. There's some quick actions, a little welcome message from our team to you. And then there's going to be the opportunity across different pages of the platform for you to select the Get Help button. And so what this button is going to do is it's going to redirect you to a website, which is our website, and it's going to essentially allow you to send us an email that you can request some help. And we really want you to be successful with SOC 2. So that's why we put this here and throughout different pages and the system so that if you do get stuck, that you're able to get unstuck, get unblocked, and really, pass through those challenges that, just naturally come up when it comes to SOC 2. And so on the right-hand side, you're going to see your navigation panel with basically the key information that you will need for a SOC 2 audit. So the getting started page is where this is where you're at. And so this is going to have information around this video about the platform, the system, how to get started, and a few other links that, if you want to work with our team or you want to be part of our community, we want to invite you to do that. So there's going to be some links down in this video for you to do that. So we do have our school platform, which is a free community for founders just like you or founding team members, or, if you're just getting started doing SOC 2 and you're going to be doing it yourself for the first time. This is a great resource where we're going to be providing you with a course on what are best practices around security and how we can bridge compliance, security, risk, and how that enables business and how it enables value for your business. So we want to make sure that we're combining all that information from myself, from other people in our team, and from best practices in the industry. The way I see it is for this school community and this course is that our goal is for it to be the shortest path between where you are right now to being compliant, and then how you then let compliance help you with other areas in security, because they go hand in hand, right? They're not equal to each other, but they're more like cousins and siblings, right? They really help each other and are super intertwined across not just the technology part of your business, but also the operational, legal, and other parts, financial even as well. So you got your navigation, this is the get started page, and next to that, you're gonna have understanding the controls, which is where we break down the different controls for SOC 2, just so that you have awareness and you have that knowledge of what the heck are you looking at, which I think is the main question when it comes to doing it yourself and you don't have security experience is what am I looking at? Then we explain in the next page in the control section, it's a database that essentially lists all of the controls for SOC 2, so the different categories, the trust services criteria. And so if you go ahead and click that one, this is what you're going to see. You're going to be seeing the different controls, the IDs, what it relates to, whether it's a common criteria or if it's the additional criteria, if it's the privacy, the confidentiality, and all that stuff. So this is really cool. The other part is that there is a link to evidence, and I'll tell you more about why we did it this way and why we think it's so cool and important, and it's going to make future audits so much easier for you and your team. So this is where you can see the different criteria again. So this is where your business is essentially being analyzed for these things. Okay, so just scroll down over here just to show you that there's quite a few, right? Of course, right now, if you see the IP here, it shows the P's and the PIA. Those are additional criteria. I'll get into it in a little bit. But the common criteria is really where most businesses that are doing a SOC 2 Type 1 and Type 2, those are the common ones that are being audited against. And the additional criteria, they have their ID starts with a different letter other than CC. Okay, cool. So what's next? So in here, you have your navigation, you got your evidence, which is another database, is where you can keep evidence of your business, artifacts that prove that you meet certain criteria, that you meet certain controls. And so it is independent from an audit year, which I'll explain it to you in a second, and it's independent from a control. So essentially, that's the beauty of these databases, and the way that we are connecting all of those dots is that you can be audited 2025, 2026, 2027, and throughout those years there will be changes in evidence, but you can track those evidence, or you can use the prior year to help you understand, okay, how did we do it last year, and can we use that same evidence? And if not, most of the time where that will help you is get an updated version of that evidence and have it here, and then you can use that across different audit years, or different essentially year audit projects that you go through, and show that throughout these periods of time you've had changes in your systems, or you've continued to update those evidence so that you are meeting the criteria for compliance. So I think it's super cool, and is able to be attached to multiple years, multiple audit years, so that you have that historical data. And at the same time, as you build this out throughout the years in your security program, it's going to track that for you. So I think it's a really good tool for you to have everything documented, and you immediately know where that stuff is at. Okay, so then we have the task tracker and the audit year, and these two are very connected to each other. And so the way I think about it is, think of an audit year as a project, and the tasks are essentially the child task, or yes, milestones that are assigned to this specific tracker, so the specific audit year specifically. So in like the Scrum ceremonies or agile development, you may have kind of like an epic. And so from that epic, you have a specific milestone, specific tasks that are associated to a bigger task, a bigger accomplished, a bigger milestone, a bigger task or accomplishment that you're trying to achieve. And so for this case, because SOC 2 is so large, it's good for us to have individual tasks, and then we also have the year, so that you can see the tasks that you did for year 1, and then you can compare them to the tasks that you do in year 2. But essentially, our goal is that your second year, you already have a lot of historical data to make it easy for you. And so you get things, you keep things very organized. And I think that's one of the useful things. So going into the dashboard again, so the security strategy is part of our premium offering for this system as well. So this is beyond SOC 2, beyond compliance, because SOC 2 is an amazing tool. It's an amazing framework that gets you started, but it's not the end all. And also, it's not independent to other areas of your business, like financial risk, fraud, legal risk, compliance when it comes to regulations. I think that's what I'm trying to say, and other things, right? So the security strategy, these are modules that are independent on each other, that help you build other valuable parts of your business. So if you're interested in getting those, we really encourage you to go ahead and talk to our team, or go and I might link this in the video below, but essentially talk to us, and we want to give you the opportunity to, if this is something that you will find useful for your team, these are additional modules that you can use, and we really, really recommend, and we're going to continue to develop them in next and future versions of this platform. So we really don't want you to miss out. So we encourage you to keep we encourage you to get them, right? If you see this free system valuable, we do encourage you to get the premium version, of course, if that fits your needs, right? So as we scroll down a little bit over here, so we have these steps that just provide you this overarching holistic view of SOC 2 as a project, and what you should be looking into, and if you were to split it into different phases, right? So we have step 1, which is commitment to the SOC 2 type 2, or if you're going to do SOC 2 type 1, it's just difference in the way that it's audited, but you still have to meet the same criteria. The only difference is that SOC 2 type 1 is a snapshot of a specific period of time against those controls that I mentioned earlier. And then SOC 2, type 2 is over a longer period of time, usually between 3 to 6 months. You're going to be audited to see that you are continuing to show those controls are being met. And so that is your first step, is define which one you're going to do. And then from there, you're defining your scope, right? So that's going to be the boundaries of the audit, if you're going to do the common criteria or the addition of criteria, and also which parts of the common criteria are relevant to your business. And if there are areas that are not relevant because you don't have X, Y, and Z, you have to still document that to show that to the auditor, so that they're not like, hey, we're going to put this against you. And so those are the main two, the first two steps. 0 becoming just being like, okay, where do I get started? It's kind of like, where do I get started is the first step. So you are in the right place. And then from there, you set up security controls, then you're going to be tracking or preparing for the audit. That becomes, how do you turn things that you're doing in your business into actual documentation and artifacts as evidence? And then from there, get audited and stay compliant is the next big thing for you. So the next thing from here, next section, is a task tracker. And so this is what we call in Notion a view of another database. So this is a view of the tasks database, and it's embedded here in the dashboard because we feel like this is the best area for you to, kind of get a grasp of the table in terms of what tasks are done. There's a few things that you can do here as well. If you use the system, you can filter, you can sort, you can group by. Right now we're seeing grouping by dates, which in your team, you might want to see grouping by person, or you want to see grouping by specific control ID. For example, this is like all the 1.1 for the common criteria, but there's also the 1.2, and you can group them for things as you see fit. I will share that there's some better ways to do compliance, and I'll share that in the future, but this is just to get you started. And then from here, you have different views, like the calendar view, which looks like this. Essentially, just allowing you to see that calendar view across the different tasks. As you can see, there's a lot to do, but that's why you have a lot of time, a long period of time for you to prepare. And that's what usually takes the longest, that preparedness and getting things ready and getting things organized and documented. So this is our goal, is that it seems like a lot, but we try to make it so minimal in terms of like what needs to happen. And a lot of tasks have what, I would say, overlap in some areas. So some evidence and, things like that can, you create them once, you can attach them to different tasks as you go through. So it makes it a little easier for you to be able to prove that kind of situation. So that is the calendar view. Next, we have the timeline view. Okay, and the timeline view looks like this. Essentially allows you to have this kind of chronological view of the task. And it works really well if you're trying to visualize effort and how long a specific task can take. So in this view, you can automatically move the due dates of a specific task, and you can essentially plan for weeks if you're doing some sort of Scrum or Agile ceremonies, or if you're just doing whatever kind of project management framework you're using. Then this can at least help you visualize that and be able to properly allocate resources to this. So, okay, so that is the breakdown of the dashboard and the different databases and what they each have. Now, in the next video, I'm going to be going a little bit deeper into understanding the controls. So go ahead and click on the next video, and we'll get started from there.